from a fancy dress party or things like this. For my whole life up until about 2 years ago, I wore a mask every single day. When I was growing up and going to school, I would wear the mask and I knew what good school looked like. I would sit there, I would behave, I would do the right thing, and I'd do it every day, and I'd go home and I'd almost want to cry because I was exhausted, because I was playing all day. Then I would go into secondary school. I did the same. I watched other people, I was like, how do they make friends so easily? I really struggle to make friends. I'd find people that are a bit like me, and you're my people. And we would be there and we'd do that. Then came exams, and I was like, how on earth are you meant to remember this? I put my superhero mask on and I go, I can do this. I can do it. I kind of did it. And today, I'll skip to this bit, I've gone, when Paul said, can you do a TED Talk? I went, yeah, sure. I can carefully craft a talk. Truth be known, I carefully crafted 28 chaotic talks, and you will get all of that today. Because my short-term memory does not work. But I played to my strengths and I acted every day, and I had this mask. So I left university and I went, well, what's the job for me? I became a teacher, and I got to work with young people every day, and I absolutely adored it, but it was still a mask. I'd get in, I would act every day, and I'd come home and I would almost fall out of exhaustion, and my partner would say to me, how are you feeling? Tell me about your day. And I'm like, I can hardly talk. And I kept on doing this, and I went, oh, well, this is what life is like, and everyone kept on congratulating it for me. Your career is so lucky. You are so lucky. You've had the most amazing career, Lauren. And I have. But behind all of this, every single day, I was being someone I wasn't, and that is exhausting, because you're trying to look at what normal looks like, and you're trying to mimic it. So you get a bit of it, and then all of a sudden you do something, and you go, oh, other people don't do that. Classic example often is someone will be talking to me and we'll be having a great conversation, and then halfway through the conversation I've finished, so off I'm gone. I'm out of here because it's finished in my head. And I never realised it until, funnily enough, my mother does it. I will be on the phone to her and all of a sudden she goes, okay, dinner's, I've got to cook, bye. And I'm like, wonder if this is hereditary. And I'm there and I'm going, okay, but I picked jobs that were in my strengths. I worked in teaching where I was up and in front, and kids had to put their hand up to interrupt, so it worked really well for me because there were cues. It was my job. I left teaching and I went into a job that would probably work really well for someone with ADHD. I went into sales, and I did that for a little while, but I missed schools and I missed kids. And someone did something for me, and it's about finding your allies in this. Someone went for an interview, and they came out of that interview and they go, hey, Lauren, I interviewed for a job today, but it wasn't my job, it's your job. And I'm going to ring them tomorrow and tell them that you should go and do that. Amazing ally male, we'll say, shout out in TEDxWomen. It was a guy that did this for me. And I interviewed to be the head of teaching and learning at the Royal Children's Hospital, working with kids with chronic health conditions. And what I started to realise was they were doing things like I was every day. They were getting up, trying to do what school looked like. I was trying to do the other half of the school. But there was a rawness and a reality to it. I did 5.5 years at the Royal Children's Hospital and went back into a school. I hats off to nurses every day of the week. I couldn't stay in that area. So I went in and I worked in digital learning, and I would move from one teacher to the next, and instead of teaching students, and I had the stage and it was okay. Life, and with my mask on every day, and I'd go home, it was okay. And I kept on getting accolades in my career, and then all of a sudden I went for a job in an executive, and I became on a school executive, and all of a sudden all of those skills of being able to pick up something and then drop it and pick up something and drop it fell apart. Because I had to sit and listen and focus and read. Don't ever become a director of research if you really aren't good at researching. Was not the job for me. It said research and innovation, and I went, innovation? Oh wait, there's a bit of research as well. But again, I found people who were my allies. I'd have the head of junior school go, I'm going to sit next to you in exec to make sure you don't get distracted. That was her job. And it got through COVID where I'm still putting this mask on every day, and I'm like, it was increasingly getting harder and harder and harder to put the mask on, take it off, put the mask on, take it off. I was forever trying to change for everyone else. So I did something that was quite strange for me. I ran the employee assist program in my workplace and went, I think there's something wrong. Through this, and I did all this without telling a soul. I did not tell my husband, I did not tell my family. I was ashamed. I've got all these awards. I am this leader in education. I don't need an EAP. And I saw a psychologist, and then my doctor said to me through all of this, do you think you might have ADHD, Lauren? And I went, no, that's something that boys get. Boys get it. I'm not hyperactive. I sit on my couch and cry and watch Netflix and eat chips. I zone out. And he said, why don't you follow this a bit more? And I went, okay. So I started to do this. I started to look at this. I did what everybody does, is I went on TikTok and looked at that and went, oh, okay. Continuing to talk to my doctor. And I went through all of this. And I asked my friends, and they said, well, you know, remember when you only ate fairy bread for 4 weeks, Lauren? Remember when you took up Krav Maga? Remember when you decided to play golf and you bought the golf clubs and then you stopped? Remember when you only ate sushi in the sushi train? And you know how whenever a dog comes, you just drop everything? And I go, that's just because I love dogs. And I went, okay. And saw the psychiatrist, asked for my school reports. Lauren is an amazing leader that gets really distracted. Lauren has amazing potential if only she could harness it. I got an ADHD diagnosis 2 years ago. I cried and cried and mourned who I was, because I was like, oh, there's something there that helps me be me. Then I started to tell people, and I had someone say to me very quickly, oh, Lauren, but ADHD is your superpower. Now, unless eating fairy bread and sushi and taking up sports and dropping them is a superpower, give me a Marvel movie any day of the week. I'll be there, but it wasn't. And I had to learn who I was. And then I went to a new workplace because research was not my thing. And I decided I'm going to tell my workplace. And for the first thing that happened, for the first time in my life, they were like, so how can we make this more accommodating for you? I'm like, what do you mean? For me? I don't have to wear a mask. You're going to help me? And all of a sudden what started to happen was I didn't have to change for the world, but the world started changing for me. And people were saying, and I'd go, oh, so when I change topics, just keep up. And they're like, oh, we do that, Lauren. What we do is rewrite where you started so we can get you back there. And I'm like, great. And what I want to leave with you today is when you drop these masks and you become vulnerable, other people will change for you. You don't have to change for everyone. And whilst we're seeing more and more neurodiversity in the workplace where it is being celebrated as being super, what prompted me to get up and talk today was, I said, I'm going to do this. And a really close friend of mine said, it's really great that you can do this, Lauren, because ADHD is considered an asset in a workplace. And she said, but I have bipolar, and I can't tell my workplace that I have bipolar because bipolar is not a superpower. And my heart broke. I went, we still have so far to go with accepting everybody, be it neurodivergent, be it mental health, be it any differences in the workplace. But the only way we're going to be able to start to do it is be brave and get the world to start changing with us instead of us always changing for the world. Thank you.